you this morning? Today is January the 17th, 2025, and I'm Karen, and this is Recreational Knitting, where I talk about yarn, knitting, all the things. Dogs, maybe. Yeah, I got a dog in here with me this morning, so I apologize in advance when he howls, because he's going to howl. Anyway, how are you? It's been a week, but we'll get into that in a minute. I have a finished object. I'm going to put it on. It is not finished in the way that the ends are woven in. Let's see what this thing looks like. How's that? Does that work for you? That's nice. Yeah, that's real nice. Anyway, yeah, it goes really well with what I've got on. But yeah, it's long enough so that you can do the snooty. If it's really cold, you can do the snood. But this is what it will really look like. I was going to do a tubular cast off, excuse me, because that's on one of my Make 9s. Lovely. Let's put that in there. So yeah, I'm really excited. I was going to do the tubular cast off, and the day that I cut off the long piece and got the needle and did about 3 stitches, and the phone rang. And then the dog needed out. And I said, this isn't supposed to happen for this item. So it would have looked lovely. It really would have. And that's what I would have preferred, but I wanted it complete. So yeah. I'm happy with how it turned out. It has been blocked. I just need to weave in those ends. I think last week I showed you I was here, so I did quite a bit of work on this week. Considering that I can't do too many rows at once, yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. Does that come with practice, or does that just old eyes? I'm not sure. But yeah, I like the fact that it also taught this pattern also taught dominance. That midway you switch your colors from one hand to the other. So I like that piece of it. But yeah. So yeah, new finished object for Newport. Let me take that progress keeper before I wear it out in public. Yeah, which I've been known to do. Weave in those ends. Put it in the closet, ready for Newport. Okay, new cast on. This is, hold on. I'm back. Thank you for your patience. This is one of my Make 9s. It's the Jarrell Shawl by Martha Wissing. Spelled Jarrell. It is pretty easy. Some yarn overs, knit purls, knit 2 togethers. Easy peasy. It is in a DK weight, and it does call for fuzzy stuff down here. It's 1 fingering and 1 2 a DK, and then DK plus mohair. I won't be doing that because itchy. But I imagine it would be a beautiful pattern with all the fuzzies in there and keep you nice and warm. I bought some new yarn. I'll talk to you about that in a bit. This is Beach Bunny yarn, made here in Ormond Beach, Beach Bunny Yarns. And this is a sport weight. I thought it would be a nice compromise for the DK weight and not fingering. So yeah, this, I don't know what the colorway is on this, but I'll tell you in a bit because I still have one with the tag on it. It will call for about 1.5 of skeins of the yarn. So yes, so I have a new cast on, and that is in my Make 9, which we're going to take a look at, because anybody that does a podcast knows that you have to be very organized up here at the table. However, even when you're organized, it doesn't work. So this is my Make 9 techniques. Color work is now off. I learned a little bit of crochet. I do want to do a project to signify that. So yeah. I was going to try the tubular bind off, but that didn't work for my color work. And I have started to design a shawl. We'll see. And on my Make 9 here, I have cast this on, as many of you know. Fail. Total fail. This is cast on. I haven't touched it in probably 8 months. This I am working very slowly on. I'm on one sleeve. And this, I have everything kitted up, ready to rock and roll. So I want to cast all of these on in the next month or two, so that I will have some options. And as I finish things that are getting close, I will be casting those on. And that's why I cast on the Jarrell shawl. Jarrell, not sure what it is. These are socks. I will be casting those on in February. I think that's my plan. Even though, yeah, even though I think I would like to leave those to June, I do want to make those and get those off the list, because that's one of the little things on here. So yeah, making progress. Another thing that I've told you about is my Whack-A-Whip. This is from my local yarn store. She sells yarn and more in Ormond Beach. Every Wednesday, she goes live around 9:30, I think. And this is her Whack-A-Whip. Every first Wednesday of the month, she has a little roulette wheel, and it comes up with a number from 1 to 12. And this month was 4, and that was the purple and white cow that I just showed you that I finished. Woohoo! Yes. And the next one is the Octopus's Garden, which is a shawl, also from the shop. That's, I don't see it being finished with everything else that's going on in my life right now. So, making progress. And one of the ways I'm holding myself accountable and making progress is every day I'm writing down what I'm working on. Blank calendar, just writing it down, holding myself accountable. The reason that I initially started this podcast is I was buying a lot of yarn, and I thought, it was during COVID, and you know, we all were doing like crazy stuff during COVID. You know, support yarn dyers, get local business, support, you know, all of that. And so I was supporting local businesses, and I was doing a fine job of that. And I thought, okay, I'm going to start a podcast so that the 3 people that will watch will say, hey, where's that sweater that you've been working on? So I am making myself somewhat accountable. Maybe this is the year. What do you think? All right, let's get on to some other WIPS. This is the Octopus's Garden, which is based on the Beatles song, named for the Beatles song, I should say, not based on. But the author is Louise Robert Design, and that's what it looks like. It is supposed to be knit in Noro Ito, I think. But let's face it, if you've got Noro, you can make it out of any Noro, pretty much. Anyway, very dark, very moody, not what I was looking for. I am using, and I don't see the other ball of yarn that I had to detach, but that's okay. This is Neighborhood Fiber Company. This is a Point Reyes yarn that I bought from her because I believe something was canceled because of COVID, and she had let's get rid of this yarn since I can't sell it at something that's been canceled. So I bought that. I had that in my stash, and I bought some Heritage sock. And this is what I've gotten done this week. I've gotten the one short row scallop. Would you call that a scallop? And I just started where you fill in with the darker. So that will be this part of the pattern. So I've made some progress on that this week, which is wonderful. Did I have a progress keeper? I apparently did not. So let's put my progress keeper from my Colorwork in here and see where I get this week. This is the Whack-A-Whip number 4. I put 2 projects on some of these that were smaller projects. You know, the Colorwork cow and this were together. So yeah, so hopefully I can make some progress before I get in to have surgery. Those of you that are new here, I'm having knee replacement surgery. If I can get cardiac clearance. Yeah, doesn't appear to be a cardiologist in the area that has an appointment before August. But that's another story. And let's see what else I have been doing, or not doing much of. This is the Simple Thing. I've done 2 rows. Aren't you proud? This has been sitting bedside and have not gotten very far with that progress this week. But hey, 2 rows is 2 rows, right? It might be 4 rows, but yeah. It is very similar to the Sophie shawl. So, and it's a free pattern. Progress. Look for the little things. All right. This is a cow for my daughter. I believe I've shown you this a couple of times. It is Aprendiz cow. I slaughtered that by Nacha Gonzalez, and it is just a basket weave. I think this is a free pattern as well. And I'm on to the second skein. And I did a little bit of this Saturday when I went to Distaff Day in Orlando. So yeah, I did a few rows on that. I did not do, this was my 3rd project I took. I took 3 projects to work on that day. And I'll tell you a little bit about Distaff Day towards the end and show you some pictures from that. But I took 3 projects, worked a lot on one project, worked as far as I could get on the second project, because then I had some other things that need to be done before I can start the second ball, and then this. So it was a full day. I'll show you what I did work on quite a bit. This is the Easy Folded Poncho by Church House. This has been in my queue, oh, so long. And I'm making mine slightly larger as a slightly larger woman. Slightly, yeah. Anyway, this is where I was when I walked in on Saturday and I knit all of that, which is a significant part. This is my third ball of Cascade 2020 non-superwash, and it has 164 yards in it. And this is color 8011. I would call this light gray, light heather. Not sure what it is. But yeah, I did quite a bit of knitting on this Saturday. So that was really, really made me feel very good that I had done so much. Changing the progress keeper. And I hope to work on this week. All right. So I feel really good about that. My goal was to finish this ball of wool, but which would have taken maybe an hour of knitting, but I kind of got bored. Knit, purl, knit, purl. And I don't mind purling. I really don't. It's not a problem. But it was rather tedious. It was a good project to go with because, you could talk while you were knitting. But yeah, had enough. And then I picked up this little Marlene Ponchette that's made out of Lang Marlene yarn, which I think has probably been discontinued. They discontinued everything that, kind of, and then rebranded as something else a little different. So Marlene Ponchette takes 2 of these, and I have not even attached it because I ran out of the first one. Mid row, but that's where I'm at. And then what you do is you bind off and then go to the end and then cast on the same amount of stitches that you bound off, and it's asymmetrical, so it kind of hangs, a little bit off kilter. So yeah, no idea if I will ever wear this, but I just enjoyed the look of it. And yeah, that is the Marlene Ponchette. I think I've given you the information for the email to the shop. I don't believe it's on Ravelry, so yes. That's the second project that I did at Distaff Day. All right, let's see. Let me show you what I've been doing with my, there's yarn. I know, shocking. All right. Let me show you what's been going on with my Advent project, the Snow Cone Shawl by Casipinka. Let's see if I have a picture of that readily, handily. It must be in the bag. It is in the bag. This is the pattern, lots of texture. linen stitch, garter stitch, yarn overs, knit two together. Basically, that's it. Increases, decreases. So it's not a hard, just, you know, keeping track of things. So trying to keep ahead of the straggler ends here that need to be woven in. But, so I'm getting there. The solids are mostly Orlando Fiber Arts. I believe this is also Mousewitch Yarns, one of her monthly mini groups. I think that's one of them. And the rest of I'm really having trouble with this word thing today, more so than usual. The variegateds are all Mousewitch yarns. So I'm pretty pleased with it. I really am. I think it'll be very nice. Again, trying to keep up on those ends that need to be woven in. Still have about 4. Yeah, but I try to do, you know, when I change colors, I try to do a couple. But yeah, so this is the color that I'm working on right now. Has little speckles in it. And Mandy, if this is yours rather than the one that I noted, let me know. It could be yours as well. And this is the main color, which is a Madeline Tosh Farmhouse White in a single. And let me show you what will come next. Since I'm using a more solid color, this will be the next color. Of course, there will be white in between. And then this will be the next solid color. Hoping you can see those. This is a real royal purple. So, my little pile of minis on the floor down here in a row, they're lessening. Yeah. I have quite a few, quite a lot of the minis left over. So I'm thinking maybe I'll make a muscle bore hat out of the second grouping of colors and just, you know, pick it out of the bag kind of thing. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, so I'm very pleased with how that's coming out. I'm glad I picked this pattern. I think it's working out very nicely. So again, thank you, Mandy at Mousewitch Yarns. She has a Ko-fi shop. Please, if you feel the need to buy some yarn, look her up on her Ko-fi. Mousewitch Yarns, Mandy. All right. And I have one more thing to show you. I haven't done any work on my black socks this week. Oh, here's the skein that goes with the Octopus's Garden. Yeah, I had to cut it and it was under a bag. Surprise. Okay, let's see what I've done with my striped socks. These will be going into a couple of make-alongs. One of them is If You're Socksy and You Know It, and that is by Little Lycac Podcast. Amanda is her name. And the other one that I'm double dipping into is, these tags. I always get them wrong. I'll put it right here. Socks Along 2025, but I'm not sure of the hyphens. I will check that out and put it in right here. All right, this is what I've gotten done this week. I was here. I had turned the heel. I picked up the gusset, working on gusset right now for one of the socks. And on the other pair of socks, similar progress, maybe a little more. I was a little further ahead on this one. This working 2 at a time is going to work for me. So if you haven't tried that 2 at a time, however you do it, whatever your technique is, to double pointed needle sets, magic loop, 2 circulars, whatever, yeah, I would try it. Anyway, I was here last time. I'd already turned the heel, and so I've been working gusset. So yeah, you can see that there might be an actual sock coming with this one too. Yeah. So these are going to be a priority this week because I'd like to get these done and in the giveaway groups if I can. Now, Amanda, her rules are, Little Lycac, sorry. Her rules are that you must cast this on in January or whatever month, and you have until the end of February to finish that. So because of my surgery, I do proposed surgery. Yeah, I'm hoping that these get done in the same month. And then in February, after my surgery, I have a pair of socks that I want to cast on. So that's being held in some nameless little walk-along bag, which doesn't seem to work very well for me. All right, that's it for works in progress. I feel like I've done very little this week as far as knitting. There have been a lot of doctor's appointments, phone calls, all kinds of things going on this week. And a lot of things going on this week. So, oh, wait a minute, I have one more. Jeez Louise. I thought there was something else. This is, and of course I don't have the pattern in front of me. It's in another place. Basically, this is just straight stitching for 27 inches. This is made with Noro, one of those Hanui cotton. Does that sound anywhere close to what it's supposed to be? It's 60% wool, 40% cotton. We in Florida don't do a lot of wool because it's Florida, but you make 2 panels. I have the first panel done. It's on a hold because what you do is, this is a vest, I'm sorry. And the vest has a split in the side, which may or may not work. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. And then, of course, the sides are sewn together. And what you do is you make the front of each. The first one is done. This is the second. And then when you get up to this area, then you start to pick up for the back and they come together. If you're lucky. Anyway, so yes, this is what she looks like. This has a little more yellow tone than the first half. I don't know whether you can really see it there or not. There's kind of some yellow. And of course they're in the thick yarn, you know, the thick spots, so they really pop out. But seems like it's a little more yellow than the last skein. I won a skein of this from my local yarn store, and I didn't know what to make with one skein, so I found another one online and purchased that. So hopefully that will be enough to continue to make that vest. Little veg matter in there. All right. So yeah, that's another WIP. And I'll try to have that pattern with me and the other piece next week. So, all right. How many WIPs is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About right. All right. Now, if you're not into acquisitions or don't want to hear about the Distaff Day in Orlando, this is where you can say goodbye and all that. So, but I'm going to show you a couple of my acquisitions. I didn't go overboard, but I went too far. Yeah, it's yarn. When you think of Florida, you don't think of yarn, you don't think of spinning, you don't think of wool, you don't think of a lot of fiber community, but there apparently is a lot of fiber community. I just want to show you right now what I purchased. This is the second skein of the yarn that I started, Beach Bunny Yarns, Island Sport, and this is in the colorway Cayenne. Look how pretty. It's really, really lovely yarn. It's 100% merino superwash. And it's 328 yards for a sport weight. And you can find them probably in some of your local yarn stores, but I don't think they have a wide audience outside of the South. But you can look them up on www.beachbunnyyarns.com. Beach Bunny Yarns. So that's the second one that I will be using for that particular shawl. This, I did not purchase it at Distaff Day. I purchased this as a 3-month club from a relatively local dyer, Swan City Yarns. Some of you may know the yarn dyers Olive and To You. Well, they have, it was 2 women, and they now are, one of them has left the business, and that is this person, and she is dyeing her own yarn, and they are now called Swan City. She's known for her really intense colors. In fact, let me show you a couple that I purchased at the shop. Intense color? I think so. This is the Trusty Sock, and this is called the Cat's Meow. And so this is a book. Obviously, she's a real, she loves to read. And so this club is for 3 months. The first book, this was based on a cover of a book, Go Set a Watchman, the prequel or sequel, however you want to look at it, to my all-time favorite book, To Kill a Mockingbird. So that reeled me in. I did not read the prequel, or the first draft, probably is what it is. And this is the colorway that she came up with. And she has dyed this, and the black to go with. So if you're interested in any of her yarns, that's swancityyarns.com. That she was at Distaff Day. I did not purchase anything because I knew this was in the mail and coming on Monday. So yes, that was fun to open that up. Now, I am not a spinner. I would love to spin, but I don't dare come up with another hobby at this late stage in life. So, but I do love that hand-dyed yarn. And there was a vendor, Long Dog Yarns, I think that's, who spins and has so much that she sells it. And look at this. This is a worsted to bulky weight. And there are 240 yards of this lovely stuff. Hat, cow, I don't know. But yeah, isn't that yummy? That is just gorgeous. And these were half price. She said she's been lugging them around to different events for almost a year. And she said, this bin is half price. I don't want to take it home. Well, that's all I needed to twist my arm. This is not something that I had planned to purchase at all. I was going to get my Beach Bunny yarn and sit and knit. That's all I was going to do. This is just, I wish you could feel this. It is a BFL wool, not it is superwash, and this is 3.05 ounces, and this is 3.1 ounces. They're both 120 yards though. So, suggestions, 240 yards. I would say maybe even, yeah, I'm going to say worsted to bulky, but I really like it. And, excuse me, my only regret is that it really doesn't match. But I was thinking the hat, but I do have enough of this yarn left to make a hat. So it's a consideration. So, any suggestions on this, or just do I sleep with it? You know, what do you think? Anyway, beautiful yarn. Thank you to the dyer and the spinner, and it's just beautiful. That's all I bought, which is bad enough, given all that. And then there's some more in the closet. We're not talking about that though. That's reserve, reserve yarn. All right, I think that's enough. You've been listening to me now for 34 minutes, and I thank you for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I will add some footage of Distaff Day just to show you the volume. There were about 900 people there at one time registered, and many, as you'll see, there's several vendors. Some of them were basically just the floof that you spin with, and they're beautiful, and one of them in particular was absolutely to die for and made me want to go buy a spinning wheel immediately, but I didn't. So I think we're done here. Stay tuned if you want to watch a little bit of Distaff Day. I know that a lot of people got a lot of progress done on their works in progress while we were sitting there. And all the footage was taken prior to actual people coming in to the convention, because I didn't want anybody complaining that I was taking their picture without their knowledge. So the vendors were okay with it. So anyway, I will see you next week. If the creek don't rise, what's that saying? God willing, and the creek don't rise. Hopefully I will have been seen by a cardiologist by then. Day to day, day to day, day to day. All right, I will see you then. Knit in peace. These are a lot of the raffles. As you can see, there's all kinds of things. Starting bids, $20, 20 bucks. There's fleeces, there's old magazines, there's hand dyed, hand spun, commercial yarns. Somebody's donated a Carter. Some beautiful, some sock blockers, drop spindle. Wow, that's a lot if you're into loom. Some Dyer's Delight dyeing kit. It's a lot of fiber. Look how beautiful. Just for the bag alone. All kinds of art supplies in here. Organic cotton, some needles. Lots of fleece, raw fiber. Skein binder, isn't that beautiful? That is a Canadian production wheel. It's beautiful. Distaff Day is typically January the 7th, and it's an annual celebration, and it's celebrating the efforts and work of women in textile to society. It comes to us from a Catholic medieval time frame, and it's basically where the women return to their regular household chores 12 days after Christmas. You know that old carol, 12 Days of Christmas. This is Beach Bunny Yarns. This is made in Ormond Beach, Florida. It's one of the owners and some of their beautiful colors that they have hanging. This is the sport weight. It's beautiful. They do have a lot of tonals, but they also have variegated. What's your favorite color? I could take them all home. I don't know about you. And there's the cayenne that I took up at the top. And that's beachbunnyyarns.com if you want to check them out. The dyer, Ron, is a knitter, a very good knitter, and his wife is a crocheter. That's beautiful. And this is their new DK weight that they've added to their line. See you at the beach. And samples, and there's the owner. His name is Ron. Nice guy. I like the fact that they brought a lot of samples so that you could look and see how their yarn actually knits up, crochets up. It's beautiful. Highly recommend it. That to me is gorgeous, that colorway. Apparently, I like Beach Bunny yarns. This is Olive and 2U. And they had a wonderful display of a lot of their yarns. As you can see, they have a lot of fingering, and they have a lot of different weights. They have all the fuzzy yarns, Surrey alpaca, mohair, but they also have silk cashmere. And here are some of the other wares that they carry in their online shop. This is Freya Yarns, which is a beautiful long changing colorway. And they have some things for spinning as well. Lovely people. This is a shop I really don't know anything about. Had bags. There was nobody at the shop. She also has some things for carding, and she also had some needles. So I'm not sure. I don't know anything about her, but there's a carding. Is that what that's called? Where you brush it out? See, I know nothing about spinning. As I said that, it's like, is that really carding? And this lady knows everything there is to know about spinning. The sweater that she's wearing, she spun the yarn, she dyed the yarn, she spun the yarn, spun the floof, and made her sweater. If there's a question to be had, she can have an answer for you within 30 seconds. And these are her wares, all of her rolags, and she does a nice braid there. Beautiful colors. Beautiful. All I can think when I look at them are like, oh, that'd be fun to put, like, pigtails, if you were so inclined to wear it under a hat. Pigtails popping out. Lots and lots of those braids. And this lady did not have all of her yarn out. It had toppled over the night before, and she was trying to rearrange it, poor lady. She said, oh, please don't photograph my stuff. It's a mess. But it was beautiful yarn. This is the one that had the fiber for spinning, that the colorways were just absolutely gorgeous. Apparently she dyes these and then sells them. But aren't they gorgeous? And she was already selling a bunch of stuff to this lady. This lady said, I know, the stuff goes quickly from this lady. It's beautiful, so I'm here to get it. And it was not only beautiful, but there were some really lovely mixtures of fibers that were beautiful, and I'm sure amazing to spin with. That blue right there was beautiful. So soft. And this, my goodness, that really needs to go to bed with you. It's that soft. Lovely stuff. And this is Swan City, her display. She's got some sock sets. She has her trusty sock base, and then she's got a silky sock base. All very lovely. As you can see, that saturation of dyes that she uses to get those deep, rich colorways. She makes a really nice yarn as well. And while not everything is real dark and deep, she does have some lighter colorways, but she's very good with saturation color. And she's given us some samples to look at as well, made in her yarns. They have a section for the spinners all ready for there's a schedule of events and more yarn. This is Twin Mommies. I don't know if you're outside of the state of Florida, if you've ever heard of them, but they have some very pretty yarns. And they had one of their son was there. He had a 3D printer, and he was selling some toys. He was a little entrepreneur. It's pretty cool. But yeah, they had a nice display and an actual color for the show, colorway. And stacks of yarn. Pretty yarn. I did not purchase any of their yarn. My yarn shop actually carries that. So, and of course there's bats that they also sell. I don't know whether that's just for the show or whether they also have it on their own website. Now this is String Theory. Yes, String Theory. And obviously she's got a variety of different bases, and she talks about which bases are good for what. Some are better than others for socks, some are better than others for shawls, but hers are self-striping and well known in the industry as being top-notch. It's a family-run business. Both of her kids were there helping check people out and helping answer questions. They're probably middle high school age, so they're actually able to help. And then some notions, stitch markers. But what was nice, those two books there, well, we'll get back to them maybe here. Yeah, just some notions. But more stripies. Different base. Very nice, all soft. And these books that I'm going to show you actually have all of her colors knitted up and show you what the actual item is going to look like if you use it for making socks. Excellent idea. Always looking for a good Ravens colorway. And she had some minis. And they were only $6, which I thought was very reasonable. Yeah, I did not purchase any, but more minis, more socks. And that entanglement tells you about the base, what they might be good for, and what they're not good for, which is appreciated. Another booth, which I never really got to talk to anybody in that booth, but lots of fluff, lots of nice spinning tools and beautiful bats. That fiber bish. Never had heard of her, him, them. And I believe this is the last booth. And again, had some beautiful yarns. I believe these folks are snowbirds, and they come to Florida from New Brunswick, Canada. And there's the room that all this is being held in. And apparently, I was wrong. There was another couple with yarn and some spindles and some bags. And I'm hoping that you've enjoyed this little quick film of what Distaff Day in Orlando, Florida, right outside of the Magic Kingdom, was like. If you're a snowbird, want to be a snowbird, and are interested, look up Orlando Distaff Day and get on their mailer. And this guy sells bags, and this woman, oh, that's the coffee, never mind. And this woman sells some beautiful spindles. They're supposed to be really top of the line.